Hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review. And today we're going to be doing All-Star Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder. Take a look at this comic cover right here. Now I'm not going to lie to you, up front, I'm not sure how this review is going to come out, because I'm not sure exactly how to review this book. There's a lot of things I want to say, and there's a lot of things that I'm not sure how to approach, because I have very mixed feelings about this book. There's a lot about it that I like, and there's a lot about it that I dislike. So with that said, let's just get into a basic history about it. All-Star Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder, and I'll just call it All-Star Batman for short, is set in the Frank Miller Batman universe. It is not part of the modern continuity. In all intents and purposes, it's an Elseworld story. Hence the title All-Star. Anything that has All-Star on it is kind of an Elseworld story. And it's set in the same universe as The Dark Knight Returns and as Batman, The Dark Knight Strikes Again. And it's interesting to note that Batman Year One counts for both the modern continuity and also Frank Miller's stuff. Also, I think Frank Miller's Batman universe, where this takes place in, also has Batman and Spawn in there too, I guess, and an upcoming Batman title called Batman Holy Terror. I'm not sure, but this is set in the same universe as The Dark Knight Returns and Batman The Dark Knight Strikes Again, just so that we understand that, so you understand that. So this is an Elseworld story. So that means Batman and all the characters in this are going to portray to form with The Dark Knight Returns, but also differently from their modern interpretations. And this is dealing with roughly the second year of Batman's career, because this is the introduction of Robin in the Dark Knight universe. In addition to that, I mean, Batman is younger, superheroes are just starting to spawn up. So it's set early on in Batman's career. For the writer, we have Frank Miller, and only Frank Miller does the Frank Miller universe, the Dark Knight Returns universe. So he returns for Batman All-Star. Jim Lee, the writer of Batman Hush, in addition to being, not the writer, the artist for Batman Hush, in addition to being the artist for Superman for Tomorrow and various other Marvel comics, I think he did a long stint on X-Men and Punisher. Not sure, I don't read Marvel comics, but Jim Lee always has fantastic, stunning art. I would read a shit crappy story if it has Jim Lee's art in it, because he does fantastic art. So, those two team up, and you think it's going to be a dream team in heaven. Let's talk about the characters first. The characters, on one hand, the characters are very much radically different from their modern continuity interpretation. All these characters kind of seem like this. And they do seem similar to their the Dark Knight Returns version of these characters. However, they seem different. Batman still has that Holy Crusade kind of feel and that smug asshole-like feel to him that he had in The Dark Knight Returns. Superman still feels like how Superman felt in The Dark Knight Returns, with him being like a, how can I say? I don't know how to say it with Superman, but Superman has that feeling that he had in The Dark Knight Returns. That stand, his mental mindset, that kind of almost political stand that he has. Who else showed up? Gordon barely showed up in this, so you don't really get too much a feel of the character. Joker kind of feels like the Joker from The Dark Knight Returns. So these characters do feel like the Dark Knight Returns version of the characters. However, in a sense, they also feel very different. In The Dark Knight Returns, Batman is showcased as a darker, grittier character because he's an older character, he's the old lion coming back, but in addition to that, he's portrayed differently. He's portrayed as an individual that, well, the other superheroes just didn't like. And trust me, they do not like him in this. But he doesn't feel like Batman in this. I have no complaint with how Frank Miller wrote him, being an asshole, a dick, a cunt, smacking Robin around. But he just didn't feel like Batman. He feels like this Batman seems to get adrenaline rushes from going out. he enjoys hurting people, throwing Molotov cocktails at people, breaking their arms, leaving them like that. I mean, he's a very, very mean individual. But the thing that really bothered me about the character's portrayal and how he doesn't feel like any version of Batman is the fact that he doesn't feel like the tragic hero Batman. Even the Dark Knight Returns version of Batman felt like a tragic hero. This one doesn't. He just feels like a dickhead that's going around and hurting people. He doesn't feel like a detective, even though they try to pull it out that he's a detective. He doesn't feel like a detective. He doesn't feel like he's doing this to avenge his parents or to make the world better. He's doing this as kind of an outlet. That's probably exactly how I feel like this. This Batman does not feel like he's doing it for the better good of the human race. He feels like he's doing it as an outlet for his own pains and his own frustrations. In that, he does feel like the Dark Knight Returns Batman, which is him, but he feels different. Maybe it's because he's younger. I don't know. But his portrayal is very interesting. Robin's portrayal is very interesting, and their relationship back and forth is at first kind of fun, a little shocking, but fun, because Batman smacks Robin around quite a bit. Quite a bit. The Justice League is portrayed very interesting. I find it funny that Batman thinks everyone is a dumbass in the Justice League. He keeps on calling Hal Jordan a moron with the powers of a god. You know, this guy's a complete moron and not a dipshit. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's a baby with the power of a god. You know, he's supposed to be the man without fear. He's also the man without brains. That was funny. And it's hard not to smile when you see stuff that Batman does in this, that to the Justice League, that's funny. Like how he coins Superman into doing a favor for him. Superman the whole time is going, damn, 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 damn. And it's a little weird too. You gotta see Batman and Black Canary having sex, and it's really quite an interesting book. The art is absolutely stunning. Absolutely freaking beautiful. Again, Jim Lee's art. The writing feels good. It feels like DC said, here's a book for you, Frank Miller. Frank Miller goes, ooh, goody. And he said, go wild. And Frank Miller says, okay. This is why I feel mixed, because on one hand it does feel like it has the Dark Knight Returns feel to it. But on the other hand, it feels very radically different. So, mixed feelings. I don't know what to say about it. The big complaint I have with this, though, it doesn't feel like a story. It feels like a bunch of issues that are just telling the world that these characters live in. There's really no underlying story to this. One could argue it's Dick Grayson becoming Robin, or it's Batman coming to terms with Robin and all this shit. It's like, no, there's really no underlying story. This is supposed to be an ongoing series, but in the past it has been riddled with delays, whether it's Frank Miller or Jim Lee or DC Comics. And, you know, if any of those, it's probably Jim Lee, because Jim Lee can be pretty bad on deadlines, but it's worth it for his art. I don't know what made this have so many delays when it first came out, but it did have a lot of delays. And I know there's more issues than this. This also says Volume 1 here, so I don't know if they're going to pick up the series and continue with it or not. I don't know. But if they do, there's definitely going to be more volumes to it. Obviously, 2 plus 2 is 4. Blah. But, yeah, I really don't know how to feel about this. So I'll give you my recommendation right now. The writing in this is fun. The writing in this is good, but it doesn't feel like writing for Batman. Frank Miller is a fantastic writer. The reasons why Year One and The Dark Knight Returns were fantastic work is because it was Frank Miller writing Batman. And he's portraying it in a Batman sense. With this, he doesn't feel like he's portraying Batman. He feels like he's just portraying some schmuck with Batman, and let's make it feel a little bit like Batman, but it doesn't feel like Batman. I guess that's one complaint I have. It's not a bad read. It's a quick read. I mean, look how thick it is. It's a fairly thick comic, and I read it in under an hour. So it's a fairly quick read, and there's a lot of dialogue there to it. I would recommend this to a Batman fan who's already read everything else. I know that sounds weird, but I've read all the other stuff for Batman, so I said, I might as well pick it up. But if you're someone just getting into Batman, or if you're a Batman fan that really cares about, Batman, true Batman stories, you probably should hold out on this, because again, this is an Elseworld story, this is All-Star Universe, so it doesn't count to the modern continuity. It's set in the Dark Knight universe. So I really don't know what to say. I'm sorry if this review isn't fully insightful, because really I have mixed feelings about it. There's some stuff about this that I like the art, writing isn't bad. I like the fact that they take the characters in a completely different direction. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like Batman totally. Sorry, wasn't batteries, the card was full, but I completely forgot where I was. So I'm just going to end it off. I'm very torn about how I feel about this. There's aspects I like, there's aspects I don't like. Would I recommend it? Probably not. Probably to someone that's already read all the other Batman stuff. Like with me, I've read all the modern continuity things. I'm doing like Elseworld stories. I'm probably going to pick up Crimson Mist and various other stories, Gotham by Gaslight and shit like that. So for someone in my situation, this is okay to pick up, but it just doesn't feel like Batman. I know that sounds really weird, because Frank Miller writes Batman very well, but it doesn't feel like he's writing Batman here. It feels like, well, here's the Punisher. We're going to give him pointy ears. That's Batman. Or here's Booster Gold. Let's give him pointy ears and cape. We'll call him Batman. It just doesn't feel like Batman to me. Maybe that's just me. There's some mixed opinions about this. A lot of people love it, a lot of people hate it. Me, I'm kind of torn in between. I can go either which way. So with that said, I guess I'm going to end the review here. Like I said, I have very little to say on this. I'm very torn and very conflicted. So I'm going to end this review here. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.